And then he died trying to get back in the vents. But he responds, nonetheless. Instantaneously, if you will. But then he went back. Of course, did that. And snapped Michael Corelli, Luke Santorum's neck. He snapped it like some type of toothpick device. He was invincible, he said. Hello there, you bunch of freaking mooks. Savage here with a story about my ancestral heritage. Cosa Nostra. We're a bunch of freaking Italians, and this is a horrible, horrible story about betrayal, love, and violence. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Shall we? Of course, it all started way back in 1980, where my grandfather was initiated. Of course. And of course, his weapon of choice at that time was a beautiful Tommy gun, followed up with a Springfield sniper rifle. How could I forget? It was almost like yesterday. Kill all targets before leaving. I love me some stuff. Some people may not take kindly to you going in places. But let's knock, knock, knock on heaven's door. Kill him. It was an easy kill. Jimmy the Rat was laying in bed, and of course... Oh, yes. Should probably redo that. Jimmy the Rat was laying in bed, but I forgot the story. Sammy Williams was his first name, of course, but we always called him Jimmy the Rat. As soon as we killed him, there were a bunch of bastards outside, waiting for our demise. Of course, my grandfather was never the best at aiming, but then again, he didn't really know how bad he had it. Jumping in, shooting. What the hell? They just came through the door and startled the ever-living crap out of me. This has got to be the hardest freaking game I have ever played in my entire life. And that is saying something, boys. Where the hell are those jabronis? I finally got him. I think we can escape. Let's get the hell out of here. I escaped in 29 seconds. Of course, my Uncle Vinny. He was the man with the ham. And from then, of course, he had to clean up the church. The church was skimping out on money for the ever-living ball. Of course, we lived in rural Italy, so there's very many mountains. Hello, Father, for I have sinned. I'm going to go out back and kill your wife. That's pretty much what's gonna happen right now. Hello, beautiful Adonis. Hello, my lover. Good Lord. What an absolutely weird thing to happen. Of course, nobody's gonna care if my Uncle Vinny walked up to the pastor and just went up behind him and just snapped his neck. I don't understand why he's not coming out, but You know what's gonna happen? I know what's gonna happen. I gotta drop this freaking cross on him. How could I forget? How do I get out? My grandfather, he was not the very directional, savvy person of which he is. He's more of a, confectionery man, if you will. But he climbed that ladder at that church, slipped off once, because he's a big doof. And then he fell right off the ledge and landed on the ground. But then he climbed up again. Like nothing ever happened. Because, well, why not? Of course, I killed the pastor, or he killed the pastor, and he ran out the front door like nobody's business, jumped in his El Camino, and sped the hell away. Because, why wouldn't you, in typical Italian style? Yippee-ki-yay, he says, as he goes under the radar and goes to kill Jimmy the Snitch. Let's go with a MAC-10 and a nice shotgun. Of course, they were in Little Caesar's Hot and Ready Pizza. Of course, my grandfather knew it would be bad, so he snuck out back, where there were no guards. And already a corpse. Wow, that was not a good idea. Kill all targets before leaving, you say. And just like that, Jimmy the Snitch was out of his mind. He led us here. To a nice... There's pizza and everything here. Hello, fellow waiter. It is me, your waitstaff. Can I do anything to sabotage this meal? I don't think so. There is a lot of death and destruction at this building. And unfortunately, I cannot hold it hostage. That's not good. And of course he killed them all that very night and escaped into the sunset. But we don't need to see that because it's very obvious what happened. Clearly he did it. No need to worry about it. Too much. Kill all targets before... Dylan Madison of yes. Dylan the Snitch, as they called him. Because he was a big snitchy snitch. And of course they saw me in the middle of the night, and they kicked my ass. How could they do that, you say? Well, you see. Wow. Come on, Dylan the Snitch. These goons were not that smart that night from my Uncle Vinny. They just kept going, and for some strange reason he had an M1 Garand with unlimited ammunition. And that was the end of that whole shebang. He got them all that very fateful night, and took off into the sunset in under a minute. In and out, he said, in under a minute. That was his catchphrase. In and out, in under a minute. But how could he ever forget the traitor? That bastard Michael Jin Sorelli. Always doing stupid crap. Holy hell. I can't even sneak into this thing. Alright, shoot. It was not advised that I brought a pistol to this. It was not advised. My grandfather realized that, but went home. Realized what was actually going on. He went back, but instead of pistols, he brought a Tommy gun and a shotgun. Because he was smart, that one. He was smart indeed. Except when that happens. And then you have men flying to the door like nobody's business. And of course, why don't I just go in? Of course I'm allowed in. That was the most esteemed thing I could have happened. That I was allowed in. Of course, Don Luke Cabron was in here. And nobody ever knew I killed him. And then everyone knew I was in the closet for some strange reason. Holy hell. My grandfather, he didn't know. It was just too obvious. You need to go back in to snap the neck. The bedroom, of course. That's not the right thing to do. And then he went up the tubes. He went in the vents. Of course, in the vents, he was invincible. They didn't know where he was, but he was in the vents. And of course, people screaming left and right was not helpful at all. It really wasn't. And then he died trying to get back in the vents. But he responds, nonetheless. Instantaneously, if you will. But then he went back. Of course, did that. And snapped Michael Corelli, Luke Santorum's neck. He snapped it like some type of toothpick device. He was invincible, he said. Absolutely invincible. I don't know where any of these men are, but they're gonna be here somewhere. Oh, they're here somewhere. I heard them. They just walked up to the vent one by one and slowly perished. I don't know if that's all of them. No, there's more. I see them. I think that's all of them, though. That is all of them. I don't know what the gas does. Oh, God! That's what the gas does. Damn. That was a mistake. And then he made it out, but he died anyway. Holy hell. Gas is nothing to play with, kids. It's really not. Alright, I snapped this guy's neck. I went in here. Closed the door. Actually, opened the door back up. And I lit the whole building on fire. And that killed them all instantaneously. I think. I'm assuming so. Yep, everyone's dead. Everyone died. And then my grandfather escapes out the elevator. Like nobody's business. And it was fantastic that very day. My Uncle Vinny, he survived. But that is the end of the story for the time being. If you would like to hear more about my Uncle Vinny, let me know down below. But for now, my name is Savage, and I will see you guys on the next video. Oh, have a good, beautiful day. Mwah, mwah. I love you all. Have a good one.